Good morning, everybody. So I am Dr. Sarah Radabaugh. I'm a pediatric chiropractor in Worland, Wyoming, and June is Scoliosis Month. And so we're trying to help raise awareness for scoliosis. And I have some friends of mine who were graciously willing to come in today to talk about scoliosis. So, Miss Liette, tell us about yourself, about your scoliosis.
Well, I found it when I was 8, and it stopped me from doing a lot of things, but
So it's affected you in some ways, but not a lot of ways. There's still a ton of things that you can do.
I can do a lot.
Liette has a really rare form of scoliosis. It's not very common. Most forms of scoliosis are actually picked up at around age 10 to 12. But she was actually, her scoliosis developed pretty early and was found when you were 8, right? Mm-hmm. And Liette is actually having surgery this summer to correct that scoliosis because hers is pretty severe. Yeah. We've tried tons and tons of things already, and it's getting worse. It's getting becoming more of a curve, and so it's becoming necessary that she have that surgery to correct that, because scoliosis can be a really big deal. If we get too much curvature of the spine, do you mind standing up so I can kind of show people what I'm talking about? Turn this way. Your spine is supposed to have curves in this direction, just like that. We're not supposed to have a curve in this direction. So ideally, we want to see that your spine goes straight down the middle, just like this. But when we have scoliosis, I'm going to move your hair to the side, the spine will curve in this manner, which is not ideal, because when that happens to a severe degree, that can impact the room that we have in your chest for your heart and your lungs, among other things. That's why it becomes a big deal. So, as a pediatric chiropractor, every kid that I check every visit, you can sit there for a minute. I'm checking every kid every visit for any signs of scoliosis. If we find the very beginning signs, sometimes we're just watching. It really depends on how old the child is and what other signs we have. Sometimes we just watch and we check them again in 6 months. If we are concerned about scoliosis, we'll take an x-ray. And then the really important part is we follow that x-ray up in about 4 to 6 months with a follow-up x-ray, because then what's really important is how fast that curve is changing. So like I said, sometimes scoliosis is totally not a big deal and you can go through your whole life and never need surgery. Usually you need a little bit more chiropractic care to function without pain. But sometimes it can be a big deal, and so that's why it's important to pick it up, no matter whether it's a small or a big one. So we have Serene and we have Liette. So we have these sisters have been so gracious to. We're going to show you how to check your child for scoliosis, because there's a lot of things that parents can do to check. So why don't you ladies stand up for me? And I want you to stand next to each other, facing away from the camera. So. The first thing we want you to check with your child is to see if their shoulders are level. Can you see that pretty well? So if you put your fingers on your child's shoulders as they're standing normally, they should be level. As we check Miss Liette, not so level, and Serene is level. Other things to check are your ears. If we can look at ears, the ears should be the same. The hips should be the same. You should be able to put your fingers on your hip bones, and each hip bone should be level. Then one of the things that you'll see if your child has a scoliosis check at school, or if you're getting checked in my office, is we have you bend forward. So can you guys bend forward and touch your toes for me? Thank you so much. And so as a child bends forward, we should see everything the same. We should see symmetry. There should not be a hump through the ribs as the child bends forward. And so as we can see with Liette, we have a hump here and actually a little bit of a hump there as well. And Serene is the same on both sides. So that's what we're looking for. Stand up there for me again. So Miss Beth, you guys can sit. Beth is mom, and Beth knows all about scoliosis now, backwards and forwards. And so what was the first sign that you guys picked up on? Because it was early with Liette, which is really rare.
She started developing the curve at about age 5, but it wasn't detected until age 8. And the first thing that we noticed was, even when she was younger than her sister, is that she couldn't put her shoulders back, and she wouldn't be able to sit up straight. Mm-hmm. Her upper back was always curved a little bit, and her shoulders droop. And we just always thought it was bad posture. And then it was actually discovered because a PE teacher at school noticed that she was having pain while running. Scoliosis does not cause pain in all patients. There's a lot of people who it goes undetected for years because there is no pain associated. Other people, and they don't know why, have severe amounts of pain. But Leah was having problems breathing. And so we took her in to have a chest x-ray done of her lungs. And that's when the curve was discovered. Yeah. And then she's been in constant care with different types of physicians, doctors, surgeons, different things since then, because it was so young. There's not a lot of options for care, and when it's as advanced as hers was, and hers was already past surgical range when it was discovered, which is about 40 degrees. Hers was 45.
Yeah.
So our only options at that time were lots of physical therapy, exercises, bracing, and then eventually surgery. Yeah. And so that's...
And Leah gets a lot of chiropractic care and massage, which helps a lot with pain. But her case is so severe that surgery is necessary. Again, that's really rare. Much more commonly, we pick up scoliosis about 10 to 12. And if I can pick it up right at the beginning, very often we can teach the child some great exercises to work on posture, and we can just keep them adjusted from time to time and can help to minimize how bad that gets as they get older. But anything else you guys want to add? Thanks for being brave today. I really appreciate you coming on. We hope we've taught you something about scoliosis today. So please leave any questions you have in the comments.